first one is the dashboard. And if we click that, then basically that's going to take us into the WP stress-free dashboard for this site. And so the first page you land on just shows you the overview, and you can check over here for upgrades if you want to. Kind of gives you a summary of the site as well. But the real power is over here on the left side. So we've got my WordPress. Now this is basically kind of similar to the dashboard inside the site itself, where you can see the plugins. You can see, the update here just tells you whether there needs to be a WordPress update, if there's a new version of WordPress, plugins, themes. And you can click on any of these and it just basically opens the window, and then you've got all these cool features in here. Like, for instance, if there are particular plugins that you really trust, you could just turn them on to auto update. So like, I generally trust the Contact Form 7, and when I say trust, I mean most of them you can trust, but if you've got some plugins that you think could be issues for creating some kind of conflict on your site or something like that, then you may not want to just have them auto updating, because what's going to happen is this plugin from now on is just going to auto update. Like, it's not even going to show up in my list of things to update. And what's nice about kind of managing them manually from the dashboard is that if you go in right now and make a bunch of plugin updates, and then you go over to the site and something's broken, then probably something happened, and you kind of know you just caused it. Whereas if you're auto updating, stuff may go wrong and you don't even know it. So I just like to have that sort of extra level of interaction just to make sure. But this is and you can get to the settings for the plugins from here as well. Now, themes, same thing. We could basically just see what themes are there and change what theme is active, that kind of thing. We can also look at all the posts and pages. So you see new here. Now this plugin, the WP Stress-Free plugin, is actually in version sort of 2.0. The 1.0 version didn't have access to pages, categories, that kind of thing. So now what's really cool here, so if you've got the version where you can you have all the upgrades, which you should, then you can go in and individually edit your posts. You can see your comment counts, and you can do social sharing from right inside the dashboard here. So, if you've ever thought, oh, I don't share my own stuff, definitely think again. I mean, I have systems set up to auto share posts over and over again on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that, just because it keeps a steady flow of traffic coming to my pages and site. So that's a cool feature. Of course, you can get in here to the pages as well. And we've also got this cool feature called bulk page. Now, what we can do here is essentially, if you have multiple sites set up, which we don't at this stage yet in the WP Stress-Free dashboard as I'm going through all these examples here, but basically you can add a new page. Like, let's say I wanted to add my privacy policies, then I can easily do that. See, I can basically create a page here inside WP Stress-Free and have it added to this blog and any others that I had added into my dashboard. So that's what the bulk page does for you. It's really cool. And then, of course, I'm just kind of breezing through these. I think, if you just explore these things and WordPress, then all of these are going to make sense to you. The cool thing here as well is we can manage categories and tags. So these are great for SEO. Now, this particular site that we're looking at, this isn't a site that I care to rank in search engines for anything. Mostly I just send paid traffic to this site or refer to it from emails and that kind of thing. So I don't really have any categories or pages or tags set up per se, but this would be a cool place where I can basically manage all of that. And you can see now for the posts that I have, you can see what tags I have there, and I can add more, right? So super easy way to, from the dashboard, just go through and start, adding new tags to your posts and pages and website to help with SEO. So now if you have comments turned on your blog, this would be another place where you can manage them. And this is actually super easy. So this is actually easier for managing comments than inside WordPress itself, because basically this just lists them out and allows you to bulk delete. So if you're getting spam comments and stuff like that, and you got a bunch you want to get rid of, then this makes it really easy. And it also makes it really easy to interact with actual comments and respond to folks who are leaving comments on your site. So play around with that stuff. Now the other thing, I really, I'm going to do a separate video on it just because I want to make sure everyone sees it and it doesn't get lost in this video, a longer video. But this has, the WP Stress-Free plugin has an Uptime Monitor, and generally that's something that you have to either be super technical and be able to set up sort of some server code on your own to manage the uptime and monitor the uptime of your websites, or you have to pay another service for it. And that's included with the WP Stress-Free plugin, so we'll manage that for you. And all you have to do is just activate it, which in the other video I'll show you. You just turn it on, and then what happens is you'll get notified by email if your website is offline. And so it's really nice, and then it notifies you when it comes back online as well. And the cool thing is that if it said you're offline and you haven't gotten an email that it says you're online again, then you're in trouble. So you want to check it out. Other stuff you can do here, which we'll do in separate videos in depth, but basically you can do cloud backups, where you basically just do a quick backup of your site to your own server. You can do pro backups, where basically you're FTPing backup, and then you can also schedule your backups. I still use a separate plugin for my backups. That's just because I've been doing that for a long time, but I'm transitioning to this as I use the dashboard more, and because it's there. So you can also integrate your Google Analytics in here, so that's cool. And then you can basically run your reports from the dashboard. Now, why would that matter when we've just got one site in here? Well, number one, it saves you from opening a new page and going to a new site. But when you think about managing client sites, for example, or say you've got tons of blogs, you've got one dashboard here where you can just pop in, get your Google Analytics for that page, see it in a nice report, and then just have that right at your fingertips. So we just tried to bring a bunch of things together in one place here that you would commonly have to treat as separate tasks in your workflow. So lastly, we have a security check that runs as well from our cloud and checks the site and just makes sure there's no existing issues on your site that you need to know about. So that's an easy one. You just click there and check now, and you can run that anytime. Now, there's all sorts of other stuff here which we'll go into later in other videos, but basically you can run SEO reports, you can check the social profile of your site, all right here from the dashboard. So very cool stuff, and that's what the dashboard button does. And we'll see you in the next video.